Was this all worth it?
Standing up for the American people is absolutely worth it. Folks are struggling with the skyrocketing costs that have happened under the policies of this administration and Republicans. They want folks who are going to stand up to lower costs, and Republicans promised to lower costs on day one. It's been a big broken promise, and now they are creating skyrocketing health care costs across the country. We could come together to address those costs, keep the government open, support programs that help the American people. But Republicans aren't interested in that. They're just blindly loyal to Donald Trump.
Well, I know that was the principle that drove you through this shutdown, but of course, some Democrats and an independent senator decided to cross the aisle and pass a bill in the Senate that brought us here tonight. Did they jump the gun on that? There's a promise for a vote on extending Obamacare subsidies in the Senate, but from what we understand, you don't have one here in the House. I don't think that Mike Johnson will put a vote there. That's why we are pushing for a vote. We have a discharge petition to force a vote on the floor to extend the premium tax credits. We're going to continue to stand up and fight for working families and affordable quality health care across the country. I mean, this is a huge increase in costs on top of all the other costs: housing, food, energy costs. Republicans have impacted since they've been in power this year, damaging for families. Families are hurting across the country. They need representatives who are going to put them first. Well, it's your job as chair of the DCCC to get Democrats elected in the midterms a little bit less than a year from now. You were quoted as saying it's time to start naming names. You'll be targeting specific Republicans in districts who voted to not fund SNAP benefits. How will you frame that? Because wasn't it Democrats who were voting against these bills?
Well, first of all, we have swing districts across the country, 35 districts, where we have opportunities to take back the majority in the House. We only need 3 more seats to take back the majority. Okay. And we need folks who are actually going to stand up for their communities. We have Republicans over and over who've said one thing, but in the end, they just vote in whatever way Donald Trump tells them to vote. They voted against their communities, against health care in their communities, against making sure that people have food, have affordable housing. You know, they should be accountable for their vote, and we're going to hold them accountable for what they actually do, which is give in to Donald Trump and prioritize the wealthiest and the well-connected.
It sounds like you're making campaign ads already with what's taken place over the last 7 weeks. Is that fair to say?
We're listening to people across the country. People have been clear.
Yeah.
Affordability is the #1 issue, and Republicans have done nothing but raise prices for working families and prioritize the wealthy and the well-connected. I mean, Trump can hold a big party and be indifferent to the struggles that at Mar-a-Lago and be indifferent to the struggles that American families are dealing with right now that he's helped create. We're going to stand up for those families.
Well, what happens after this? The government presumably this evening reopens, the president signs the bill, we're off and running. There, I guess, will be a vote on the Senate side, as I mentioned, on extending Obamacare subsidies. Do you go immediately into negotiations here with Republicans in the House? Has that even been delineated? And if not, are we going to shut down again in January?
We're going to keep fighting. Turns out the fiscal year starts on October 1st, on October 1st every year. Republicans could have been at the table to prevent this situation from happening. They're in charge of the House, the Senate, the White House. They put us in a situation. They shut down the government. Now, over 50 days, we have not been in session in the House. Mike Johnson has kept folks away. I guess Republicans have been on vacation. All a chance for us to be working on policies to fund the government in a way that works for the American people. That hasn't been their priority. It absolutely is our priority.
Well, your newest member was sworn in a couple of hours ago, maybe less than that, in Adelita Grijalva, who is number 218 on a discharge petition to release the Epstein files. This has suddenly come up back to the surface in a series of emails that came from the Oversight Committee that were leaked to the media last night that seemed to allege some involvement with Donald Trump. We're waiting to learn more on this. What will the discharge petition mean once it gets to the floor? Ro Khanna told us early December is likely for a vote.
First of all, it's way past time to have sworn in Adelita Grijalva. Her community has not had the representation they need because Mike Johnson unilaterally decided not to swear her in. So that's about time. The first thing she did after she gave her statement on being sworn on the floor was sign the discharge petition. This is about transparency, and the American people have demanded transparency. Republicans in the past have said they want transparency too. Release the files. Yes, it starts a clock, and right now, based on that clock, now that there's 218 signatures, it looks like we would likely vote at the beginning of December.
It doesn't appear that there's support to pass this in the Senate right now. Is this also an exercise for you, with the midterms in mind, getting Republicans on the record once and for all on these files?
This is about accountability. It's about listening to the American people and the demands of the American people. The American people asked for this. Republicans have talked about it in the past, but when push comes to shove and they actually can stand up and actually do something to stand up their communities, they run away scared, and they should be running scared, because American people are tired of folks who are unwilling to put their priorities first. We see that across the country, and we're absolutely going to see that at the ballot box in 2026 when we take back the majority.